Well, welcome back to the Ropes Family Podcast. Man, it feels really nice to say that, and I'm not making that up. As soon as I heard that music, I started smiling real big.
Ready.
I am excited about the Ropes Family Podcast. I don't remember what episode this is. I think it's 95, maybe 96.
I don't remember.
We could look. It's one of those, 95 or 96. We're getting close to 100. I don't know if we're going to do something special for 100, but we might. Anyway, Courtney, how have you been?
Good.
I haven't really seen you a whole lot, so I don't really know anything about you.
I've seen no one all summer.
Yeah. So do you want to give us a quick recap of kind of some things you did over the summer?
Yes,
And
I went
I'll do the same a little bit.
to 6 countries and 5 states.
Wow.
Swam in 3 oceans. And then I did some mission stuff in Southeast Asia. I went to girls' camp.
Wow.
What else did we do? I don't know what else. Played baseball. I didn't play baseball. My kid played baseball. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. So girls camp, Southeast Asia trip, VBS.
We did VBS.
Did we talk about VBS?
That seems like that was 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, it does. We were going to talk about VBS, but I think Eleanor fell apart.
Yeah, she said no.
So we canceled that episode. So do you want to start with maybe that? And
yes.
we just kind of talk through. We're also going to talk about, and the reason why we're bringing these things up is we're also going to talk about the needs behind these things.
So for VBS this year, we had 117 kids pretty consistently.
Wow.
And we had 35 volunteers that helped.
So that's the largest VBS we've had, do you think?
Yes. That's the largest one that we can find record of.
Yeah.
It was very crowded, but we had a lot of fun. And I think it was a really good topic for them, and they really enjoyed it. Then we went into, well, I guess you want more about VBS?
I mean, you can. I mean, it kind of goes into Southeast Asia a little bit because you guys kind of did the same thing.
We did. So VBS, we talked about who Jesus really is and how Jesus is the light to the world.
Yeah,
the whole thing. Man, it's been a long time, y'all.
Pop quiz.
And I'm already focused on next year's VBS, and so everything I say kind of goes back to that. Yeah. Anyway, but that was really fun, and it was all about glowing and bright colors, and we had a great time with that.
Yeah.
Then we went to Southeast Asia, and we did a VBS there, and it was psycho crazy and very hot. But
so, how big was the team that went to Southeast Asia?
there were 6 of us.
6.
Yes.
Awesome.
So my oldest son, me, my mom, Colita Messer, Marissa Martin, and Donovan.
Nice.
And we ran a VBS for kids in a population that is not well taken care of or whatever.
Okay.
And so we went up to their mountain village and did this, and it's the church that our church actually helped build with funds that we raised from VBS last year.
Like the church building. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's awesome.
So we did that, and
which is really cool. Actually, I want to stop on that for a second because, I mean, the VBS last year raised, what, $700? And that $700 there can build up building.
Yes, I think they had...
I think you can look at a building here for $700 if you want to.
Maybe. But I think they said they only needed like 300 more, and the building was built. So VBS really paid for that building.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes, that actually blew my mind. And they have a kitchen there and 2 bathrooms that they never use. So they're like in perfect condition.
Oh, wow.
And then they have like a classroom, but it's inside of where some of the people live.
Oh.
Very nice. But we did crafts in there. And we did the big group stuff in the church. And they did rec outside, which was very hot.
Yeah.
And we had permission to do that from the authorities, but they still showed up.
Wow.
Twice to be paid.
Oh, really? They wanted to be paid to be quiet.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they'd already paid them to get us there in the first place.
Wow. So what's the going rate? I'm curious.
I don't know. I never found out how much they paid.
Nice.
because it was the actual pastor that he travels there to.
He just kind of handled it.
Mm-hmm, he handled everything.
Yeah, and we talked to him about him on the previous episode, right? He was the guy that goes and hunts chickens, wild chickens. Or is that a different pastor?
That's a different guy.
Okay.
This is like the traveling pastor that actually pastors a church 2 hours from there. But he comes on his motorbike every second and fourth week, maybe.
Nice.
And kind of teaches their men to lead their flock.
Okay, cool.
So we did that and saw some of Asia that we hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
And we're all better friends after spending, 10 days in Asia together.
That's good. That's good.
And then came back and was home. I was home for 2 days. I went to girls' camp.
Awesome. So how was girls' camp and how many volunteers and kids went?
We had 4 volunteers go and we had 16 girls.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. It was really good. I can't remember the theme.
Me neither.
Yeah, I don't know.
Emerson could tell us, but I don't.
Yeah, all the little girls could tell us. We did something.
You guys did girls' camp things.
We did girls' camp things.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys kind of talked about that before.
Spider web. Ew. Sorry.
We haven't been in this podcast room in
No, and there's a spider web.
all summer.
Dead bugs in it.
There are dead bugs on the floor. There's things. Mm-hmm. This room is kind of a catch-all during the carpet remodel, so it's got stuff and things in places. But it's serving its purpose. Sorry.
No, we're good. But we went to girls' camp, and it was a fun time. Mm-hmm. We didn't have any girls make any decisions there, but some had already made some decisions and then helped them further that. And some of them started asking questions. So I was really happy about that.
Awesome. That's what it's all about.
And then you went to youth camp.
I went to youth camp. And I guess I can share the numbers on that. So ESPN. So we took, the group size was 64 with 9 volunteers. So that was 55 kids. My math, I don't know.
I don't math.
We took 9 volunteers. And I know some of you, the volunteers, can be listening, but I've told probably everybody I can about the quality of leadership that we had.
We took some good
people, and they really loved and invested in the students. And I'm not saying anything bad about the last years of camp volunteers, but this one I was very excited about, and I'll tell you why that I was very excited. And it's something that I learned and that I put in from. And so it's really cool. And so that's what I want to talk about, that part after we talk about. So the reason why, we are, and I guess we did boys camp. We had 3 volunteers and 6 boys.
6 boys. Mm-hmm.
So all that is because we're talking about volunteering. That's why we kind of we wanted to share the numbers of kids versus volunteers, because that's a big thing, especially going into this semester, which starts today. We're recording this on Wednesday the 12th, and school started today and church is starting today. So if you're wanting to volunteer, we can come along. But come on, sign up. But we need you. But that's kind of why we're here. We're saying we had a bunch of volunteers, but we could always use more. Mm-hmm. Maybe VBS was kind of full, but we had some floaters and people around. I think it was good. But we could always use more volunteers. And I think that's something on us as the coordinators of the ministries, is to help our volunteers be more comfortable doing the things that they do, be more equipped to do the things they do. When I first started in youth ministry, I was like, we're going to figure this out together, and that would be overwhelming for some volunteers, for some people. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You're supposed to tell me what I'm doing, And so I've learned that over the years to equip volunteers and to not take advantage of them and to thank them. That's a big point too. So anyway, that's a little bit of my spiel. So why did we want to talk about volunteering? So this was your idea for the episode. So what were you thinking when you kind of wrote this down?
Well, I think a lot about volunteers because I have 8 that help me that are amazing women. and they do not mind doing it. They are excited about it. But I know eventually they're going to get tired of it.
Yeah.
Or they're going to have to, do something else. And I don't blame them.
Right.
But then I'm going to have to find new people. And when it comes to volunteering, like you're saying, it's hard to say yes to something if you're like, what in the world am I actually volunteering for? Am I going to go in there and have to see like 15, 20 kids sitting there and be like,
yeah.
Or am I going to be equipped? And I think the better I equip my volunteers, the better attitudes they have,
right,
the more excitement there is. And I think we teach our kids a lot more and a lot better Bible is what I was going to say. But we are just more out to dive in if we're equipped.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about that a lot this summer.
Yeah. So what have you thought about it? Like, has it been like, how can you equip better or?
Yes. Like how I started, I try. I know volunteers, I don't always do this. I try to send their lessons out early, and I try to make it super clear. Like, this is what you do. You don't have to guess. You don't have to come up with anything yourself. Yeah, you may run out of time because there's so much stuff, but you're covered. You don't have 20 minutes at the end that you're like, what in the world am I going to do? Because I have so much stuff ready for you that you feel comfortable doing it. And since I've started really doing that, I've had a lot better feedback from them. Like, they're not worried about Sundays. They're not concerned about how the kids are going to act, or, if they're going to be engaged. They're not concerned about that anymore. Yeah. It keeps them busy. It keeps them moving. And as long as I stay in constant communication with them, it's a lot better.
Yeah. Being available, I think, is a good idea.
Well, I try not to drive them crazy, but then I need them to tell me, like, hey, your lesson was a total failure.
Yeah.
Or this craft was way too hard. And I prefer it when they say those things and don't just pretend like it was fine and go on.
Yeah.
And so when they communicate with me, then we can just do the back and forth, and it's so much better.
So I guess we should have started with this. Why should we volunteer? Why do we need volunteers, or why should a church member volunteer in one of our ministries?
Because we need help. Volunteering I have not worked with youth at this church. I have been around the youth because I have kids in there, but I have never volunteered for youth. And so I can't really give you a whole lot there, other than with children, you're gonna be so blessed by them. They're hilarious. Yeah. Sometimes it's a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you, but we're called to get involved in church, not to just occupy a space in a pew. Yeah. Because you're not part of a family like that. And if you are volunteering, you're gonna get to know these kids. You're gonna get to know their parents, youth too, and then you're all a family, and you're a church, and you're active together, and you're not just taking up space.
Yeah, I think there's a thing going on in kind of our current culture of churches of being a consumer, and that kind of goes against what we're called to. We're called to be producers, right? Bear fruit. That's producing. We're supposed to produce. We're not just supposed to go and consume. Because then if we're just consuming all the time, we're just gonna get all fat and sassy from whatever that meme is. Eat bread and get fat and sassy.
Fat and sassy.
But then we'll just get, just so full. And then part of being a consumer is we start making it about us. Yes. So I'm going to go to church so I can get my worship on, so I can feel something, so I can take something from. Church isn't about that. Of course, we come here to worship. We come here and worship. I think that I've said this before on our podcast. Is worship takes sacrifice. Like if it's doesn't take sacrifice, isn't worship. And sometimes we got to get out of our own way as far as being comfortable or making it about us. And how we do that is we get plugged in. It's not always the funnest thing or the most comfortable thing to especially go to girls camp or boys camp or youth camp or VBS or Southeast Asia, it's not, those things aren't comfortable.
No.
And they're not supposed to be.
No.
You know, there's opportunities for those things to happen. Like, you can go and relax a little bit at some of the camps.
Yes, you can.
But it's not supposed to be that way.
Right.
And Paul lays this out in Corinthians, 1 Corinthians, you know, one body, many members. You know, we've read that before, you know, just as the body is one, has many members, and all the members of the body through many are one body. So it is with Christ. Let's see.
Did you read that on Sunday?
I did. We did read that on Sunday. You know, let's see. God arranged, this is skipping down, but as it is, God arranged the members in the body, each one of them as he chose. If all were a single member, where would the body be? As it is, there are many parts, yet one body. So, you know, not all, and I left out, I didn't read part of it where it says, if the foot should say, because I'm not a hand, I don't belong to the body, that would not make it any less part of the body. And if the ear should say, because I am not an eye, I do not belong to the body, but that would not make it any less part of the body. So I'm going to keep reading. I was trying to start preaching. I'm going to start reading. Sorry. Because I'm not an eye, I do not belong to the body. That would not make it any less part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the sense of hearing? If the whole body were an ear, where would the sense of smell? But as it is, God arranged the members of the body. So we all have a space in this body. We're not just parts of the body that should consume. No parts was like, just because sometimes we do need to just come and be poured into, but that pouring into needs to overflow. And I think that, you know, we kind of get intimidated sometimes with volunteering. You know, like, I don't feel like I'm called to a certain area, you know, or like, but that doesn't give you an excuse not to serve anywhere else. You know, like, find it. You know, tell, especially us at our church and staff or whatever, tell us. We would figure out a spot for you. You know, or help us come up with a spot that you can serve in. You know, that we don't see. You know, there's one body, many members. You know, we're supposed to be active participants in that.
And I don't know how. Well, I'm just going to say it. I've had people before say, like, well, it should be done like this. And I'm like, that is great. Do you want to help with that? Like, oh, no. I don't have time to help with that, but that's how you should do it. And I'm like, well, if you want to help, I would love to have your help. Then you can do it just like that. Yeah. And I've really started getting bold in that direction. I'm sorry, I love you people. But I don't mind saying, well, why don't you help with that? And then we can do it that way. And a few people told me, like, going to Southeast Asia, that's not for everyone. That's a very long trip. It's very hot. And I straight up asked some people to go, and they were like, no. But then they're like, well, how else can I help you, though? Like, can I help you prepare for it? Can I make copies? Can I get some craft stuff? What can I do for you to be able to go to Southeast Asia? That's still volunteering. That's still abundantly helpful. Yeah. It's not that you have to go to Asia. You have to come into my classroom. You have to work at VBS. Right. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Many members. Right. So, like, that's a perfect example. Not everybody can go sit on 2 planes for 12 hours or something like that, and then spend a week in scorching heat and humidity, things like that. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody's equipped to do that. But if you're not, you know, you can help with the trip by praying. You can financially, you can help. You know, there's lots of ways to be a part of the body in the mission of the church that we have. And, you know, so that doesn't give you, there's many ways that we can do that. And I think that's a good point is, figure something out. Hey, can we do this for you to make your life a little easier while you're there, you know, or something like that. It's not just about Asia. I was just saying that as an example. But there's all kinds of stuff. Even just helping out on Wednesday nights with us. And I'm going to have a lot of kids this semester, I'm pretty sure, and you're going to have a lot of youth. And we're going to need people to come in there. Even if they do not want to teach, I will do, I mean, I'm sure you do all your teaching. I don't know what you do, but I do all my teaching. I just need help in there to be bodies. to be there and be like, hey, let's do this. Keep them focused, help them do a craft. I'm going to need that this semester.
Yeah.
Even if you're not you don't feel completely called into teaching kids, I'll equip you to help.
Yeah.
And I know you will too. Because you have a lot of volunteers down there that are great.
I'll try to, at least. I'm still getting past the just like, yeah, we'll figure it out. You just get down there.
He's a different, he's kind of type B. I'm kind of not type B at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I really had to learn. And I guess we can transition into this is part of it, it comes from us. Like you said, equipping. Part of it is leadership. Mm-hmm. And so this is actually a really cool thing that happened to me over the summer. So I was in 2 different classes over the summer for Wayland. One of them was Christian marriage, and another one was it was called practicum, but basically it talked about leadership. And also I got to preach a few times this summer, which was really cool. I got to do that. That was a good time. So this is a cool story. Bear with me how I tell it. So I think it was while Donna, you guys were in Southeast Asia, I got to preach this one. And it was Father's Day. And I preached from the passage that right after the one I read just now. So it's 1 Corinthians 13. It's the love chapter. So I preached from that as a dad, as leaders, or as a dad, we should love our kids, love our families, love our wives, all those things. And what is love is this. And I did sing, "What is love?" from the pulpit. I did
Good job.
sing that. And so I took it from this thing, from that. And then after that, after I did all the sermon prep and I preached and whatever, I had some homework to do. And the homework was this passage, was the 1 Corinthians 13 passage. And it was talking, of course, that was a marriage class, so of course it's going to talk about that.
Right.
And then the next week after that, for my homework for the next class, was reading a book talking about leadership, talking about the same passage. And so it was a really cool thing. Leadership, or all the things we do, should be done out of love. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I implemented at camp with the leaders. We had a meeting before, and I said, and I ripped this straight off from the book or whatever. The book is called The Servant. It's a really strange book, the way it is. It's not it's basically like a dialogue the whole time, but it's, I don't know. This guy goes and visits a monastery, and he talks to this monk for a week, and he just records the conversations.
Okay.
Anyway.
Interesting.
I'm sure if you've been to Wayland, I'm sure you've read it or listened. I listened to it, but anyway. A few things that they said in there is when as far as leaders, when we lead well, we should lead out of love, and one thing that, I feel like that happens sometimes is if we're not doing this right, if this is the wrong way to do it, if we're leading, we feel like we need to be in charge.
Yes.
Like being in charge is more important.
Like a power trip.
Yeah. It's like, and sometimes we do that because it's a defense. Like, hey, I've got to keep control of this. Hey, I've got to do this. I got to, make sure nothing falls apart.
They're just type A and super controlling. I don't know anybody like that.
That's not where I was going with it. I wasn't trying to be like that, but, I've never liked that. Like, this is going to sound really crazy, and don't hear this the wrong way, especially teachers, of what I'm about to say. Hey, Editor Josh here. I just wanted to pop in and say that what I'm about to say is going to sound really mean if it's taken out of context. I do not mean any of my children's specific teachers or any specific teacher in general. What I'm talking about is my own experience growing up in school with how I perceived the authority from teachers. All right, back to the episode. I was really struggling sending my kids to school this year because I didn't want people to tell them what to do. Like, I didn't want people to be like in charge.
Like to break their spirits.
Yeah.
Not guide them.
I obviously need them to lead my children.
Right.
Yeah, I need them to lead them and teach them and do all those things. But I don't want them to yell at my kids.
Yeah.
And, that's, I don't need, like, they don't need that. They got enough of that at home.
Let me do that.
Yeah. Anyway, but I'm trying to get this out in the best way I can. But, so I struggle. I told Allison about it. I'm like, I'm struggling with sending our kids to school. And she's like, oh, you're going to miss them. I'm like, no, I'm not going to miss them. I just don't want them to get told what I don't want people to go and think they're in charge of my children. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they are in charge. But, so all that said, because at camp, I challenged the leaders to do something different. I don't want the leaders to go there and feel like they needed to be in charge.
Right.
I didn't want to go there and feel like I needed to be in charge, but I was in charge, obviously. But I didn't need them to go with that attitude of like, hey, I need to keep control. I need to keep this, because that's also very stressful. That's like a hard way to go, and it's exhausting. So what I challenge them to do is to lead out of love, mm-hmm. because if we love well, we gain influence mm-hmm. from the people, and this takes time. If we love, the people who we're leading will trust us.
Yes.
That builds influence. And it's way easier said than done out of this. But I challenged the leaders to do this. And one thing I said was part of leading is identifying and meeting the needs of those who were leaving. And we're doing that by serving. Mm-hmm. So I challenged them, hey, look at your students when you're there, and identify and meet some needs. Mm-hmm. Like some of them just may need somebody to stand next to in worship. Mm-hmm. Some of them might need somebody to keep them focused. Somebody might need prayer. Somebody might need... So identify and meet the needs and out of love, and that will help build trust and rapport and all of those things. And the leaders did that. And I also I tried to do that with the leaders. I was like, okay, I see what they need. I might need to sit in on this group. I might need to, mm-hmm. Talk with this kids or do something, or I might just need to be a listening ear for the leaders as they figure out what to do.
Yeah.
Or, do that and lead out of love. And that's kind of something that I want to take into this year with all the volunteers that I have. I don't want them to have to feel like they need to be in charge. I want them to be able to love first. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to. And if you're serving, if you're volunteering in the ministries, I want you to go in there like, mm-hmm. hey, we're gonna love. We're not. And I know that sounds real hippie, but love doesn't always mean affirm everything either. It doesn't mean let them do whatever. Right? No, it doesn't. Love means to, sometimes...
But come at it from a different direction. Not because I'm in charge of you, but because I love you so much, I don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah.
Because you're jumping from chair to chair.
Yeah.
Or standing on the table. I love you. I don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah.
Not, get off the table.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it to my own kids.
Yeah, and, and your kids know you love them.
Yes.
So that's sometimes... And I had to explain that to my kids one time. I'm like, hey, I love you very much, and I love you to the point of more than anybody else. I love these kids. I love you more than anybody else can.
Exactly.
Besides Jesus, I love them more than anybody else on this planet can. Mm-hmm. And I want what's best for them. And when I tell them to do something, it's not because I'm trying to be bossy. It's not because I'm trying to get some peace and quiet. It's because I love them,
Yeah.
And I want them to be around a little. And I want them to grow up and love people too. But love sometimes requires admonishment. Sometimes you have to correct people.
Jesus loved everyone, but he wasn't afraid to say, turn from your sins.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going the wrong way.
You are definitely going the wrong way.
Yeah.
We just had that conversation with our teenager.
Yeah.
We had to do some tough love because we're just mean.
Yeah.
Ground him for no reason. He does nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to have a serious sit down about, we love you and you're going to leave our house in 4 years. Mm-hmm. And you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
Not living this free for all and thinking you're going to survive.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's hard for, not always it's not always going to turn out the way you think it's going to turn out. That conversation, yeah, I'm like trying to have philosophical conversations with Elliot. That ain't gonna work. I'm like, dude, I love you. You're gonna be a man someday. I need you to grow up. And I have started saying that to him, like, hey, because I mean he's 7 years old, but I want him to know like the reason why I'm parenting him the way I am is because he's gonna be in my position one day.
Exactly.
And I want him to be equipped better than I am to do those things, And so it's not out of I
really like that.
It also takes for the leader. It also takes a mindset shift. Like we have to train our brains to, hey, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I telling them this? Why am I doing it the way I'm doing it? Is that out of love, or is that out of necessity, or is it out of grief, or is it out of spite, or is it out of love?
That's funny. It's not funny. It's a God thing, because today I was doing a slideshow for tonight, because I know I'm going to have kids I've never met or seen, or maybe I have, but I don't know them. And so I prepared like a little welcome back slideshow. And instead of putting like, these are our rules for our classroom, I was like, these are the guidelines that we're going to go by. And one is love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind. And one is love your neighbor as yourself. Well, that's all we need to do to actually be successful.
All we need is love.
I'll let him sing that to you.
Love is all we need.
But I was going to put all this stuff, like put rules, and then I ended up putting those. And so it was like, God was preparing me for this podcast.
It's nothing new. Like it's been.
No,
in the
it's
Bible
not.
forever.
But it's
sometimes it just takes like,
yeah.
And the book was called The Servant, and it was talking about servant leadership, obviously. But when you don't, you hear that word, but what does that actually mean to do? What does it mean to serve somebody and love them at the same time? And I've actually tried this in our marriage a little bit, and I haven't been as successful as I thought I would be. Let me serve you the way I want. I'm serving you, I promise. And sometimes it's easier in things than it isn't. In our marriage, of course I can serve my wife, but or of course I can, but sometimes it's just not. It just doesn't work out as much, and so sometimes you got to figure out how to love the person better, or the whatever person you're serving, and that requires identifying their needs and meeting those needs, or their whatevers. This is a whole book. I'm trying to regurgitate in 5 minutes. I guess we've been talking for 32 minutes.
Oops.
We were like, what are we going to talk about at the beginning of this podcast?
We haven't shut up.
It's been good. But that's kind of my spiel on leadership. But it was really cool that that month of like God working on me with like, hey, let's do this out of love. That's the thing that you're missing, or maybe not missing, but let's put a reason why we do the things we do. Let's operate out of this intentionally instead of just in the background, And I could apply that in so many different ways, just like even leading the youth on Wednesday nights. I'm doing this because I love them, not because it's my job. Switch it to that mindset. Or I'm doing, or whatever else we do. Or even when we're equipping leaders, we do this because we love them and we want them to be able to love well too. Like if I just sent the leaders into camp with like, hey, this is kind of what to expect. I can't give you all of the answers or whatever, or I didn't even want to have a conversation with them. I'm not loving them
right
well enough for them to go and love. And I think it was great. I can't say enough good words about those leaders at camp, and I hope they want to come back next year. I hope they feel the same way that I thought it was a great camp. And we had kids, make decisions. We had kids do all of those things, and it was awesome. God really worked on a lot of things. There was a lot of cool God moments at camp where, I can't get into specifics because it's not my story. But there was a kid that was like, saying, hey, I think I'm idolizing this. I think I'm putting this in front of God. And then, that was kind of a breakthrough thing during a small group. And then during the large group, the speaker literally mentioned basically word for word what they had said.
Wow.
You know, like it was like, and he kind of laid it out like, hey, this is how you can address this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a mindset thing. You know, it was a really cool thing for that to happen. You know, and Allison and I look at each other, we're like boo-hooing in the back. You know, camp is a great emotional time for me. I was just, this is a side note, I was just learning a song that we did at camp because I want to do it tonight, and the boo-hoos hit me again. I'm like, come on, can I just practice a song on the guitar, please? No, I can't. But anyway, so would we have a family challenge? Or you got anything else?
Mm-mm.
I guess family challenge could just be love. Love
Everybody
people.
love everybody.
Everybody love everybody.
Probably shouldn't quote that movie on a podcast.
Oh, whatever movie it is.
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
Anyway.
Yeah, you can Google it, whatever. But yeah, so I think that's what you can do is find a place to volunteer, and out of that, you know, volunteering, it could be an expression of love.
Yes.
And we're all called to do it. We're all called to love, and this is a way that we can love is through service. This is a way that we can worship is through service. You know, there's plenty of ways that we can be a part of the body, and if we have it, if we're serving. Sorry, I'm trying to get real preachy here. If we're serving or volunteering out of a place of love, then I think we're doing it the right way. You got anything else?
Excellent.
Excellent. All right, that's all we got this week.
55 minutes later.
It's been 36 minutes and 13 seconds. Man, I knew that I would feel great after we record this episode. I was full of not nerves, but I was just like, what is this going to sound like? And so I'm great. I'm glad we're back. And we've got the next few episodes planned. So that'll be good. So we'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.